All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makahak, Wadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Citations to you, Akim, out there pushing this truth with sincerity, all right? Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. All right, I probably said it already, but I have to say it again. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders and apostles. All right. Um, Shalom to the elect. Shalom to you for your akwa. That's in obedience. All right. Um, Back at you through the spirit and with another lesson, man. Prophecy is really getting there. It's I mean, it's just countless, and I'm gonna go down the line on different things, then hit precepts and stuff like that. But it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in this society, as the Bible would say, the prophecies, the end times. All right. You got wars and rumors of wars. You got so much craziness going on with domestically with Jake, with you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and the 2/3, man. They're getting worse. All right. I got a clip. Well, I'm just look up the news. Recently, a Chicago mom that had sickle cell got jumped by kids in Chicago, by elementary school kids, all right, in Chicago. And that's a telltale sign of what the scriptures have always been saying, that uh 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 what is it? When children are our oppressors and women rule over them. I'm gonna bring that out, but yeah, uh, these women, this whole year, these years and years of this Willie Lynch single motherhood, which is the curses that came upon us, has created monsters, created kids with autism, kids under the spectrum, kids that are violent, kids that come with trauma and demons, and they attacking people. That's why you got Nero going over there to bringing troops or national guards into different cities to control these fucking 2/3 nigglets. All right, but here's some news coverage here of what they talking about here. All right, let me pull it up.
The community is outraged after an attack on a mother and her two young children. You can see in this video here where it happened in the South Deering neighborhood. And we are blurring the video because the people involved are all minors. Our Sade Gray is live outside of the school where this happened. Sade, we're learning this is not the first time that this specific group of kids attacked someone.
Exactly, Marie. The large group of parents were.
Look, these kids are habitual attackers. All right, these are 2/3. These are 2/3 children. Habitual attackers. Created by our enemy, the so-called Hispanic and Native American and black woman, especially that fucking black bitch. And then we know that it's a few aquaf that's gonna be saved, but majority of you fucking devil ass fucking manipulative Jezebel spirited demons, man, are gonna get that up. That judgment,
outside of the school calling for accountability. They say bullying has been a problem at the school, but now it's crossed the line into violence. The mother, who is also the victim, has been at the school all day talking to authorities. Disturbing video, all caught on camera. Children dragging a mother and her son to the ground. We've blurred the faces of the people involved because they're minors. Police say the 33-year-old mother and her 9-year-old son were walking near 106 and Bensley in the South Deering neighborhood when the group of kids started chasing after the mother and her children, calling them names and taunting them. Both the mother and son were taken to a hospital. Word of the attack spread quickly on social media, causing outrage among many parents. I couldn't sleep. I was traumatized. I could not sleep. I couldn't believe it. Shanice Davis lives in the neighborhood and says she recognizes the attackers. This is not the first time the kids have done this.
You gotta understand, Jake want to say stop bullying, but they don't want to go to the root of the problem, right? They don't want to hold the women accountable for raising these fucking demons, man. They say stop bullying. No, raise decent human beings, but we know we're under these curses, all right? And they not gonna get to the root of the problem. They just gonna be on some other shit. You know what I mean? Fucking demons, man. And the Lord's gonna judge these people, man.
Just talk around the streets that these kids have pretty much been raising themselves and they have not been held accountable. They have vandalized cars. They have harassed adults and children. One day after the attack, demonstrators showed up at.
All right, so I'm gonna pull that back up, but I gotta bring that scripture out. Children are our oppressors. All right. Bear with me here. All right, here we go. This ties right on in. All right. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to error, and destroy the way of thy path. All right. And that's what we see here. We see a lot of disobedience and insubordinate with kids, and they're raising themselves, you know. These women are out having, different, dealing with different men and stuff like that. And, they're not raising families. They're raising destruction. All right.
At Orville Bright Elementary School after some posted on social media threatening to harm the children behind the attack. Several police officers showed up blocking the entrance of the school to protect kids inside. Chicago Police District Council member Joseph Williams was also talking with the.
We're going to make sure that this school leadership steps up and that they put a safety plan in place, that they put any plan they need to put in place to make sure that these babies feel secure. Bullying should have a zero tolerance behind it.
We reached out to Chicago Public Schools about this incident and allegations from parents that their children were bullied by the same group of kids. CPS says they're horrified by the attack and they're working closely with the mayor's office, CPD, CHA, and other city departments to provide additional support for the family. Reporting live in South Deering, Sade Gray, CBS News, Chicago. Marie.
Thank you, Sade.
Yeah, so that's just the tip of the iceberg of what's been going on around here in this place called Babylon. All right. In this wicked matrix we live in of Esau's kingdom, It's a lot of stuff being revealed. You see Nero Trump is being revealed of being on a and on the Jeff Epstein situation, we got, let me see, wickedness being revealed, what they say, pretty much, man, what we've been saying this whole time, and there's been ancient rituals been going on for many years, man, and it's in the scriptures, where people have been rocked to sleep with Esau's Babylonian fragrances, and what got people all drunk off the wine. All right, so we got, okay, judgment says the bubble is. All right, yeah. So we got different. We've always basically this place picks up from the ancient Canaanite Babylonian rituals. Sexual sacrifices and stuff like that. And when you think about it, it's gonna, your favorite actors and your favorite everybody is gonna be pretty much revealed, and it's gonna make people sick, and it's gonna make people throw up in many ways because it's it's the truth. And this basically during with this collapse, man. Um, this is with this collapse, everything's being out in the forefronts because Esau and his societies they move in secrecy. All right, I'm trying to get right now. I'm looking through the phone, trying to find a, a substantial information about this news. What it says Jeffrey Epstein's brother believes Trump delayed files of the delayed release of files because there's things in there he doesn't want people to see. So he doesn't want things to be revealed. See, this Nero is the king, so-called king. We know who the elites. They create things and they do things, right? They create puppets, but Trump is known as that king calling the shots. And uh, in order for these people to get in power, especially Trump has always been in the DJ, the guy he's always been in the show business, so he already knows the ins and outs, and he knows the ritual what to do. He's part of the get along gang, as we would say, you know, but their wickedness is being revealed. You say. Bear with me. Hold on. I'm trying to get this info. But other than that, man, there's things going on to in the highest bidder, man. I can't find what I'm looking for, but I'm just gonna find some more craziness because it's plenty. It's plenty, man. Through the spirit, I just want to show the chaos accelerating. Like, check this out. Uh, Babylon is tweaking. Total perversion. That's a clear sign of a place ridden with madness. All right, that's a clear sign of a place ridden with madness. It says UK liberal women protest for the use of human milk instead of animal milk. All right, they want to make. She was talking about ice cream, making ice cream out of human milk. Ain't nobody want to eat no motherfucking eat my woman milk. Ain't nobody doing that's wild. That's wild. All right. And it's nothing but more madness. It's just this I'm gonna call this lesson madness. More and more madness. What the scriptures say, because roughly paraphrase, well, because iniquity has abound, iniquity meaning sins, people are more ravaged and more depth in their wickedness. Because iniquity has abounded, the love of many is waxing cold. And it's just waxing worse and worse. Evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. All right. And that's what we're seeing here. And it's getting bad, man. Let me see.
News from the United States Coast Guard, which will no longer classify swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. Millions of Jewish people and disabled people and other people who were seen as different were murdered by the Nazis in World War II. So the swastika, which was
Esau's getting back to that. Esau's getting back to that natural form, that form he's been in.
The Coast Guard is no longer going to classify it as that. It is going to classify. News from the United States Coast Guard, which will no longer classify swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. Millions of Jewish people and disabled people and other people who were seen as different were murdered by the Nazis in World War II. So the swastika, which was the symbol that they adopted as their hateful symbol, it has always been deemed as a hate symbol, but now the Coast Guard is no longer going to classify it as that. It is going to classify it as merely potentially divisive due to the fact that many people in the Trump administration clearly don't believe that it is universally hateful. It is just something controversial that is sort of like a noose, which also they now believe that even though it was used to hang black people, they don't believe it is a hate symbol any longer. This is the division of the military that is under the Department of Homeland Security, not the Department of Defense.
See, Esau getting that old spirit back, man. He ain't, what's that? And that's unrighteous decrees too. Unrighteous decrees. He's getting back to that old spirit, man. Right? Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees in that right grievousness which they have prescribed. All right. So these people, they giving you things that so they really, because that's how this is their place. They are not in trouble like others. This is their heaven. This is their rulership. So they can bend the rules and make their offense not offensive. And it was just that, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people. And who's the oppressor of this earth is. So who is poor. So they are trying to bend the rules so they can do more oppressing and do more of what's in them, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, and that the widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And then guess what? I guarantee you, there's never been a year that they never found random Jakes being hung by nooses, hung like this. It's always Jake get hung every year by the hundreds. All right, and it's always told as they always call it suicide. These fucking devils. Like I said, they're not in trouble like others, and they're showing their horns. They know they got a short time, and this is Jacob's trouble. You're gonna start seeing, once this starts getting crazy. You're gonna start seeing Jake on them trees, man. Blood on the leaves, black body swinging in the southern breeze. To turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. All right. Well, look what happened to Emmett Till. It's gonna happen again today. And what will ye do? Because they're gonna try to get away with this. These are unrighteous decrees, so they can get away with bloodshed of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which is going to happen. The 2/3 got to go, and the Lord is using Esau to get them. All right. And what will ye do in the day of visitation? And the Lord's going to come and put Esau to death. So he's really pretty much make sure Esau's judgment is justified as it comes soon in this manifest. And what will ye do in the day of visitation, in the desolation which shall come from far? And whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? And he's talking to Esau. We got that perpetual hatred Esau has for Jake. So Esau's having these meetings and stuff like that, attacking Jake, man. Right? Finding ways to put Jake into a oppressive state, But Esau's going to put Jake in oppressive. He's going to put, Jake. A lot of 2/3 got reservation for destruction. All right. So what is perpetual hatred? Perpetual hatred Esau has. So he's going to always lurk to put Jake in oppressive. In these end times, he's going to ramp it up. And a lot of these 2/3 are not even aware of that shit. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 4. I will lay the city waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. And that just shows the Lord's going to come and give true justice to what the wrongdoings that these motherfuckers have been doing to us, But they're going to have their way in a way, for the 2/3 and before it happens, all right? Because the devil is coming, he knows he got a short time. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, modern day gun too, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. And look, he's getting more and more ramped up right now by getting these laws into place so he can get away with shit. All right, they're getting it. They're getting it all in place. All right. Okay, let me see. This thing is getting there, man. The Jacob's trouble is it's light, but it's finna ramp up, and things are gonna get real bad, man. They're trying to get this cashless society going, and it has to be an order out of chaos. All right, check it out.
It's programmable. They can you because a digital currency, and this is all accepted. This is not theory. Is programmable. They can.
If you hear him, he said this is all accepted. It is not theory. What the brothers of the Great Millstone have always been telling people, prophesying through the scriptures. No, we ain't just saying it out of our belly. We're saying it because the scriptures say it. We're reading what the scriptures say. That's it. And it's 100% truth being taught. All right.
Program a digital currency to mean you can only spend it on certain things and you can't spend it on others not designated by the government. And it's programmable so it can only be spent in a certain area. So if you go
15-minute cities, all right. So they're getting to a point where if you that's why when it says a man shall desire to go into a city, you know what I'm saying? So they'll give you this. They're gonna start trying to give stipends and stuff through your little C-hip or whatever. This is what they're trying to do. And if you go too far out, you can't use it. It's not usable. You are designated only to this 15-minute radius. Boom.
Outside of your zone, your money won't work. And not only that, it means that when you go past one of these number plate cameras when you, quote, shouldn't, you won't be able to challenge the fine because the fine will be taken out of your digital account the moment you transgress. This is what's happening. Now,
Pure prison state, a digital concentration camp, a prison cloaked as miracle, cloaked as amazements, and cloaked. Esau's a devil, man.
these digital currencies are called central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, because a digital currency, and this is all accepted, this is not theory, is programmable. They can program a digital currency to mean you can only spend it on certain things and you can't spend it on others not designated by the government. And it's programmable so it can only be spent in a certain area. So if you go outside of your zone, your money won't work.
All right, you get the drift. All right, you go out of your zone. You know, your money won't work. All right, and that's going to tie into a lot of things. You know, because they're going to try to contain people. All right, and people are not going to be able to travel like they want and do things. Second Esdras chapter 15 verse 19, or Salakia, Second Esdras chapter 15 verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, and let's go ahead and get into, because this is what's going to start happening. All right, order out of chaos and stuff like that. Chapter 15, I'm going to start. All right, 14. Woe unto the world and them that dwell therein. Because, even when I'm at work, man, I sit and ask certain people, I'm like, man, if they try to come with a C hip, man, would you try it? Would you? And I know these guys are not even in His truth. They don't have faith like, the men of the Lord do. And they just woofing. Because once the pressure comes, they're going to fold. They're going to fold. They're going to fold, man. It is what it is. But it's going to be some that's going to be like, man, fuck this shit, man. We finna, Second Amendment, we're not, you know what I mean? They're going to see us, because that's Jacob's trouble is a prophecy. And before they roll this out, it's going to be real. Jacob's trouble is going to be real chaos, all right? Second Esdras chapter 15, verse 14. Woe unto the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, like your Donald Trumps, like your governors, like your mayors. People are not giving a fuck anymore, okay? And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, all right? For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, the men shall be afraid, all right? And guess what? It's a lot of men out here that think they tough. And when these times come, they're going to be scared pussies, because they're not men of the Lord. They're bitches that couldn't hearken and couldn't do what they were supposed to do as a man, all right? Because the whole duty of man is to fear Yahweh and keep His commandments, all right? All right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. You think when people are not having access to food and water and stuff like that because of the chips, what do you think the people are going to do? Go inside other people's shit and take other people's shit. That's what is going to happen. Crime is going to rise. And Esau's going to do this. Super is going to have an excuse to put more bullshit. It's just going to be chaos, man. Jacob's trouble, man. All right. Man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. You know, this thing it's gonna get wild. All right. And you can see the people have no clue. All right. They're just being spoiled. You know, woe to them who go down to Egypt for help. You know, let's go there. They think that everybody's backup plan is Egypt. All right. Everybody's backup plan is Babylon. Go down to Egypt. You know, Egypt. This place is your average American. Everybody's backup plan. They complain about it, but this is everybody's backup plan. And the minute the Lord's backup plan is Yahweh Shai, and that's salvation. You know, and making thyself a body a sacrifice, and you know, doing what you're required. You know, examining thyself and making thy calling and election sure. Isaiah chapter 31, verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. All right. So, you know, woe into these fucking 2/3 motherfuckers that's complaining about EBT and all this bullshit, man. Woe to that shit. That shit ain't nothing, man. You know, but that's what they open it back up and please. They crying for Esau's blessings, these devils' blessings, you know. But they didn't hearken unto the Lord. They shunned the brothers out there on the highways and byways. You know, they look down on the brothers and called us broke. We didn't have the shiny garments like these other wicked these wicked ass camps. All right, out there that you know that are false and scattering the sheep. All right. You know, because, you know, Great Millstone, man, this is 100% truth, man. It ain't no gimmicks. Ain't no gimmicks. Ain't no shimmering and for you to put money in a box or put money in a hat. All right. This truth is for free, but only the Lord. Many are called, a few are chosen. All right. It's right there, you know. But people take advantage, and people despise it and throw it behind them. And, you know, and it's going to be a famine of the word. All right. This truth ain't going to be out there available to these people anymore for too long. You know, so it's time to take advantage. But with that, I hope the elect was edified, you know, and, you know, give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makahak Wadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. All right. Brother Yaiquab from Champagne Great Millstone. Till next time, Shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.